Good old Sunday evening.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah. Oh no. Wait.
Oh, no.
No. Wait a minute. Hold on. Damn it. I didn't prep it. But look at you're gonna be proud of me. You're gonna be proud of me.
Oh, there we go. Okay. Little lion purr. Okay.
Okay, and then it's a little Halloweenish though. It's a little Halloweenish. It's a wolf. It's a wolf.
Is that supposed to be a wolf?
It's a sick maybe post-COVID wolf. I don't know.
I don't know. I don't know about that one.
Lungs are hurting. And then
Okay. All right. A little bit of like little sheep, little goat. I like it.
You never know when
what happening. I like it.
When you have to plug in like that was one of the best workouts ever. All right. Hey, this is Munchies. I am Maximilian Mormont. We are I'm Hermit Coach. We are MaxFit USA, CrossFit Costa Mesa, and also my boy Mikey Wins, 1s and 2s, and my favorite co-host, Mike Wins. I mean, I love this this Munchies format. It's just I love Sunday afternoon. Sunday's so good. Sunday's so good to me. I feel so rested. And then come Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, we got so much stuff. But we keep getting more and more stuff on our plate, and we get more and more ability to put stuff out. Yet we just got so much, and I love the feedback that I'm getting. So if you guys keep emailing me, keep texting me, keep DMing me, so give me that information. But today we're going to start off this idea of slow carb loading, keto and carb cycling, anabolic dieting, mixed with some intermittent fasting, and basically why that type of diet works or why it doesn't, and where the people have like pitfalls inside that. I love the slow carb diet. I got it from the Maker's Diet. I love the idea of a Mediterranean diet mixed in with a keto or basically paleo style dieting of eating, and then adding in some carbs. I like the fact that the slow carb has legumes and things of that nature, and paleo does not. And so I get that. And parts of keto, depending on what you're looking at, will allow you to have like absolutely zero carbs. And then others will allow you to cycle it on and off, telling you to stay within that 50 to 150 to 200 grams, depending on what their thought process is with the exercising and output. And what I find that works the best for everybody is if you're heavy set or like myself that ends up carrying some fat, and when you want to get rid of it, you got to deplete most of your refined carbohydrates, refined sugars. You got to get rid of the alcohol. You got to get rid of a lot of the excess food, the excess water. You really got to almost start dehydrating and carbo depleting and caloric restricting, and really seeing what the drawback is. So immediately imagine that you're drinking 3 to 4 days a week. You take out all 4 days. The first week alone, you should drop 3 to 5 pounds. Something as simple as that. You make one quick correction and you start seeing results. So when we think of this, and we think of this like intermittent fasting mixed in with this keto or carb loading or cheat meals, why does this work, or what's the important part of it? It kind of goes to my question, so we'll save that. But when you are looking at these diets, something that they all have that's very consistent is the ability to cut carbohydrates and taking them out of your diet, and then slowly letting them back into your diet. So when you're cycling on and off of carbohydrates, if they're done correctly, so where you start to what I would call a wave, where it starts coming down and then coming back up. So a few days of high, a few days of low, they work real well. The only thing with it is in the beginning, it's more important that you start with consistency. So if you can eat a set amount of carbs, proteins, and fat, and you get good at hitting those numbers for about 30 to 60 days, then you can start messing with your body and messing with your body's like understanding of digesting and storing and using and replenishing and things like that. But in the beginning, if you start doing that early, it's almost like what your body's doing already. And what I'll do it as an example of intermittent fasting. Intermittent fasting works very well, specifically for most of us, because none of us really like waking up and making breakfast or having like putting forth the effort of making 2 or 3 meals in the morning. So cutting that out immediately makes that a favorable diet. Then honestly, you start eating at 12 and then you got this 8-hour window and you're done by 8 o'clock. So the other problem with dieting, and most of us, what we do is we actually keep eating and drinking past 8 o'clock. So that alone just immediately shuts it down. So now we have this window of eating, and then we start getting hungry inside this window. And if you're eating to your caloric intake or you're free eating, next thing you know, you're eating 3 to 4 meals inside of a 12 to 8 o'clock window. And that's basically what we aren't doing already. But if you go into this intermittent fasting and then all of a sudden you're only eating 1 meal a day, but you're still hitting your caloric intake and you're not eating past 8 o'clock, it's more likely that you'll actually start eating. Are we on the? What's happening over here? What? Can you hear me, Mikey? Yeah. Do I sound okay? Yeah. Like I'm going through the Mikeys. Yeah. All right. It kicked me for a second. I saw my light go mute and then come back. Sorry. So I was like, oh, but yeah, paying attention to basically how much carbs you're putting into your diet and how much you're taking out immediately will give you this huge hormonal response. So cutting them out, getting into this keto state, and then putting them back in will allow for your body to transport your testosterone and your not your testosterone, but let's say it will transport your protein to your muscle and allow you to actually use that protein correctly. So adding in carbohydrates at the proper time will allow for that. Going back to these ideas of these diets and why they work so well is because we've been eating too much carbs and too much sugars quite frequently. And then we're not eating frequently enough, or we're not eating our calories that we're needed to eat to lose weight. So once we start settling into that process, these diets work very, very well. But a lot of times we just don't let them actually work. So we get into this like low carb, low keto style of feeling. And then immediately, what do? We jump out. We're like, oh my God, I need some more carbs. At least I know I do. So some things that I try to do is set forth parameters. So I'm gonna eat this, and this. I'm gonna pre-make it. Once it's gone, it's gone. And then I'll make adjustments the next day to make it more filling. Kind of like what we've been talking about the last couple of weeks in regards to the snacks. So when we're looking again at these diets, make sure that you choose one that works well for you. So slow carb, if you're like Mediterranean food, keto, if you like to really kind of almost deplete all your carbohydrates, but still kind of pick and choose more modern type foods, if you will. Or I think of the difference between that and paleo is very minimal ingredients, almost zero ingredients. And then also too, the anabolic diet. So eating carbohydrates for 2 days straight, no proteins, no fats, and then eating proteins and fats for 5 days straight. So that's a kicker. And then the idea of mixing that all in with other diets like an intermittent fasting, making sure that I'm eating inside of windows around my training and around waking up and going to sleep is very, very crucial. And then cycling it off low, medium, high throughout the week based on how I'm training, how I'm feeling. And in the beginning, I would just go by the number and then start going by how I feel. All right. Yeah, man. I thought that thing bumped me off.
No, you were fine.
Yeah.
I didn't I heard you the whole entire time. So
Yeah, last time I was playing with it, it bumped me. It bumped me to my laptop. And next thing you know, I was picking it up off the the queue. So I was like, "Oh, come on, internet."
it's all right. The computers know I'm here. So
It's like, "Oh, I got you. I got you." Um, let's go. Oh, dude, we gotta wait till this pothead this snack is brought to you by pothead. But so today our question is ask Coach Max question is do cheat meals hurt me or help me? And this kind of goes in regards to what we were talking about a second ago. We are really, really focused on this idea of almost like carbo loading, or some people like to say refuel or refeed or backloading your carbs. It really does help. Mostly the way we prescribe carbohydrates, we never really deplete them completely. We always have 50 to about 200 grams of carbs. We don't take them out to 0 or 30. I don't really like going that low, specifically because we train pretty intensely. I would almost rather us do 3 or 4 days of 50 and then bump it back up slowly, 100, 150, or coming down slowly. So what I see is most people, what they do is they do full keto or full paleo, and then they do a cheat meal or they drink heavily. And suddenly that spike is not something you want to do, or the excess of caloric intake or the excess of volume of liquid is not what you want to do. So that kind of stuff is really going to hurt your body. So over cheating, overindulging too soon, too quick, not really setting it up correctly. And then also to not thinking about the previous days to come. So a lot of us, what will happen, and I see this a lot in the bodybuilding world, where they'll go and get ready for a show, or even in, like, let's say a CrossFit competition, but they get on a really good strict diet, and in bodybuilding they suck all the way up and they get ready to show, and then they go out and they eat a bunch of pizza, and they don't actually slowly increase the crappy food. So really your cheat meal after a show should be like 7 days later. And this is something with now, if we look at how we're cheating in our meals and when we eat improperly, what the next day should look like. And that should be almost like one of those days where I'm almost intermittently fasting. So I go out and I eat real poorly and I drink alcohol until 2 a.m. or until 4. I'm at home. I got carried away. Now I can't eat for 12 hours. So I can't eat breakfast until 4 p.m. or 2 p.m. the next day. And then I just jump on my regular schedule, and then I would have a very minimal, I'd only really eat 2 meals. And then I'm back to Monday, which is my normal eating habit days, if Saturday was my cheat day. Also too, I wouldn't really blow out my caloric intake or what I had been eating regularly. So if I've been eating about 2,000 calories, I don't want to get much more than 25. 3,000 calories becomes a lot, because if you think of 3,500 calories as 1 pound and you eat over 1,000 calories or over 1,500 calories, you just almost ate half a pound of body weight. So you got to be careful of those type of things when you're cheating. And a lot of us don't really think of that kind of backlash, if you will, as we're going through the process, and we don't actually use it to our benefit. So cheating and then doing that around training, or depleting most of our carbohydrates in the daytime to take them in at night after a very heavy training day, and then also to maybe training a little bit later, or taking that that cheat meal and making that an earlier meal. So like if you're going to make Saturday your cheat meal and you train with us at 11 o'clock, then you would actually probably have a pretty heavy breakfast. And then all of a sudden your next 2 meals at 12 and at 2 or 3 are probably cheat meals. And then you're probably not really eating a very big dinner, because those last 2 is basically dinner. If that makes sense. And again, if you're not really paying attention to how you're coming off of a cheat meal or how you're going into a cheat meal, yes, they will hurt you. And then if you're not paying attention where you're placing them, in your workout routine and like you're placing them on a rest day, that's not going to help you either. But outside of that, hormonally, they can really, really help you out. Remember, bodybuilders inject insulin. So they use that as kind of a way to build lean body mass. So if you inject insulin through eating carbohydrates post-workout or around your workout or in training, they could really, really help you out to build lean body mass. And I just think people just don't know how to use it properly. And again, you can. Speaking of carbohydrates, put this stuff down. Mikey, I don't know. Pig outs.
Was it that pork rind brand? You haven't chicharrones?
I guess, man. I don't know. I'm a little taken by these snacks that I got going on here. But
did you order that?
No, Piehead. Brian brought these over and was like, "Hey, man, I brought you a gift, and I don't really know if this is a gift. 7 grams. Well, wait a minute. 7 grams of protein. 7 grams of protein. Cholesterol-free, energy-rich, good carbs, baked, not fried. Okay. 1 ounce." 1 serving per container is 130 calories. This has 13 grams of carbohydrates, 7 grams of proteins, and 6 grams of fat. Not too bad, I guess.
Are these vegan chips?
I don't know what he's
starting to sound like vegan chips, bro.
You got yeah, it's close, dude. It's GMO, gluten-free. No trans fat. It's got a lot of stuff on it here. Certified kosher, vegan, and soy free.
Vegan chips.
Dude, it's covering everybody. Right there at the bottom. It got everybody in one fell swoop. It said it's kosher, it's vegan, and it's soy free. So if you're someone that's like, screw the vegans, no, all their stuff has soy. No, not us. not us. Man, okay, so this is Texas barbecue. We got original. We got to try original first, right?
Of course.
Oh, man, let's see what they're featuring here.
I'm looking up the nutritional facts right now. All right, so for the pig out, pigless pork rinds, 28 grams. You got 130 calories, 13 carbs, 6 grams of fat, 7 grams of protein.
Interesting. I don't know.
What do you mean you don't know?
Well,
it's a Texas barbecue, right?
They're original.
Okay.
So in my mind, I'm like, well, pork rinds. What's a regular pork rind? Like if I go and eat a pork rind, what's that like? What's the nutritional value on a pork rind? It's fried, right?
Okay, so depending. So I'm going off of, because a pork rind is an ultimate keto-friendly snack. You're looking at 5 grams of protein, 0 grams of carbs, apparently, 280 milligrams of sodium, 5 grams of fat, 80 calories in the half-ounce serving.
Damn.
Half an ounce of serving is 80 calories.
So it's 160 for an ounce. So it's a little more than these.
A little bit more.
Not too bad.
Less, I mean, but it's actually, a pork rind is actually meat. So
how much fat does it have?
Regular pork rind, or are we talking about the
regular pork rind?
Regular pork rind has 5 grams of fat for a half-ounce serving.
This has
9 in total if you're gonna do a full ounce. Okay,
this has 6 for a full ounce. It's interesting. So what's this made out of?
Yeah, that's the other question. I don't know.
At least the pork rind, it's made out of pork, right? Like,
yeah, it's made out of pork. I don't know what's going on with the vegan pork rind.
Okay.
Let's see what they have.
Ingredients. It's got some rice in it. sunflower oil, pea protein, pea grits, pork rind. Pork rind seasoning. I was like, son of a, son of a.
So pea protein, maltodextrin, yeast extract, sea salt, natural flavors, whatever that fucking means.
Okay.
Cane sugar, salt, and white distilled vinegar.
It's never good when it says natural flavor and then it says pork.
It doesn't.
Seasoning.
Yeah.
Pork rind seasoning. Pork rind is not a natural flavoring. I'm just gonna put that out there. But how about the fact that it has maltodextrose and it has pea protein in it? That's where it's getting this jump of protein.
Of protein, yeah.
Yeah. And then basically you could eat this as a protein snack post workout. I wonder.
So it's just an aerated, like bleh.
I wonder how many bags of these Brian's eating. Like, how many of these can you take in one sitting?
I mean, if you're like me, you just mindlessly eat it. You probably could take five or six bags in the sitting.
So that's like, ooh, that's 590, 620.
If you do six of them, it's 780.
Okay, this one's called Hella Hot.
So there's a Hella Hot one. It's the same nutritional value. 6 grams of fat for an ounce, which is the bag. So right now you're eating a whole ounce of quote unquote pork rinds, but
I'm doing half.
The Hella Hot has 1 more gram of protein. And that's it. That's the only difference.
It's not that hot.
No. And then was it the ingredients are rice, high oleic expeller pressed sunflower oil, whatever that means. Pea protein, pea grits, Hella Hot seasoning, maltodextrin, sea salt, yeast extract, white distilled vinegar, cane sugar, natural flavors, paprika extract, onion powder, spices, citric acid, garlic powder, salt, habanero pepper, and lactic acid.
That one had more ingredients, huh?
Just for the spiciness, I guess.
That was pretty good. Pretty good. I don't know what they're correlated to. I don't know what to compare it to. I don't. It's not a popcorn.
I mean, the only every time I ever eat chicharrones is from the street vendors, and they have it in that bag, and you throw tapatio in it, and then you just shake up the bag, and then
anything. That's with that. But yeah, what would you compare that to? What's a pork rind taste like? Corn, like a corn chip, like a fluffy,
maybe like a corn nut.
Yeah,
like corn nut bags.
Yeah, I'll give you that. That's a very good description of it. Fluffy corn nut.
Yeah, corn nut.
Okay, chicharrones is
Saturdays or Sundays, Sunday night snack.
I feel like that should be the new paleo brand there. Chicharrones.
Next week we'll have elote.
Yeah, yeah, or post workout chicharrones. And it's like has like pumped them up, has like workout pigs on them instead of just little chubby pigs. And we sell them like healthy eating bars post workout. Have you ever tried the Quest protein chips? I should get some of those.
The Quest protein chips? I don't like them. They taste like cardboard to me.
Yeah, I don't mind them. Like, it depends if I'm in the right mood. The same thing with like if I get in the mood with the chocolate bars. Mm-hmm. Like, I like their ingredients versus other companies, and they're the only ones really that I've tried the chips that I'm like, ooh, I like these. Whereas other chips I've tried and I'm like, nah, not at all, not at all, negative. Whereas at least theirs, I'm like, oh, I'll eat it. Okay, let's see. Saturday's workout. Ooh, some deadlifts.
So Saturday's workout, if you guys didn't see that, that was a 7 rounds, and each round was about 4 minutes, but it was an EMOM style. So you did for the first minute, you did a 3 rep max deadlift. You rested for the next minute. The third minute, you had a 3 to 5 rep max of a 3 to actually 10 rep max of a muscle up, or a variation thereof. Some people did chest bars, some people did bar muscle ups, some people did regular pull-ups. And then the fourth minute you would rest, and that would repeat itself for 7 rounds. So each actual round was about 4 minutes. You separated each of those 4 minutes into a deadlift, a rest, muscle up, and then rest, and then you repeat it for 7 times. But on the workout side, let's look at what we had here for the deadlifts for the class. Max Niklenko here doing some pretty big lifts, ended with a 465 for a triple. Wes Tamafuna 445 right behind him, beating out Nate Contreras. He himself hit 435.
Dirty bastards started with 225 as their warm-up set, huh?
Yes, they did. They did.
Trying to up that tonnage, huh?
So we got 135. Nate started with 135 and it went 435. And then Max and Wes both started at 225. Ooh, Piehead here, ending with a 365 triple.
Those chicharrones.
Apparently, I needed to eat the chicharrones because I followed right behind Suit with 355 there. Started with a 135. Maybe I should have taken a page out of Maxie and Wes's book and started at 225. Maybe I've been able to start at 375. Mikey Algren with 335. Jeff Steele ending at.
I would have done more of Jeff's jumps. And normally I don't do the 365. So when I'm pulling heavy, go back to the top. Go back to the boys. Yeah, when I'm pulling heavy, I don't pull that 275 and I don't pull that 365. So I normally go 90 up. So 135, 225, 315, 405, 495. And then I start worrying about like 525 and things of that nature. But I've never enjoyed starting at the 225. Not me personally. But I normally don't take those jumps in between either. Now
is that gonna set their DNS a little bit or CNS a little bit raunchy, for lack of a better term?
Yeah, I mean, you think about it. If most power lifters that are pulling 1,000 pounds, they talk about pulling 50%, and they pull 225 to start. Or they pull 120 kilos, 260 because they're using kilos, then that's a little bit different setup. But they're also trying to get to 7, 8, 900, 1,000 pounds. So they're going to take 200-pound jumps for a little while, and they're going to use maybe even 100-pound plates. You know what I mean? So if you think of that type of jumping and you think of this situation of like 135, 225, 315, 395 for Nathan, he should have probably even just cut that 365 out, because really
like 315, 395.
Yeah, for sure. Or 315, 405. Just keep stacking the 90s. Because what's it matter? Because after that, he turns the corner and just goes right into 20s. Same thing with like Max. Max turns the corners and goes right into 30s. Where if he takes 30-pound jumps, right, he goes 135, 225, 315, 405, and then he goes 435. Now he's still got 2 more lifts. And he doesn't
I see you.
And he doesn't have this this nervous system problem in the beginning. And then now he's on a tonnage game. So if Nathan was technically stronger than Max in the deadlift, he would outpull him, but he's not. This is technically the right lineup for total number. But if they were competing against each other in an actual competition, that's where tonnage is like when you get stuck in the mindset of tonnage and not in the mindset of jumping, it will bite you in the ass in competition. in actually 1 rep max competition, I should say.
So what would you think of my jumps here?
135, 225, 275, 315. So like if you look at it, you did 235 or 135 to 225. So that's a 90-pound jump. And then you did a
50-pound jump.
50-pound jump. So to me, the 90 has to go to a 70. So if I'm going to take a 90-pound jump, I got to go to a 70, and then I got to go to a 50, and then I got to go to a 30.
Gotcha. Okay.
So
instead of jumping from 90 to 50, I needed to go 295 was essentially my next pull.
Yeah, because in the beginning, it's probably going to be tougher on your body and your nervous system. But in the long run, it's going to set you up better because it's getting you further into your weights. It's taking out certain weights. So even though this 90-pound jump took out other weights, now it almost is like you would have been better off taking two 80-pound jumps instead of 190 and 150. Especially because of where you're trying to go. Because then if you took 3 80-pound jumps, or you go 80, 80, 70, 70, now you just took a 300 pound jump just like that.
Yeah.
And that's where a lot of us don't understand how to get up the ladder. Because if we're trying to deadlift 500, 600, 700 pounds inside of 5 lifts, you really got to get there in 100-pound jumps.
Gotcha.
So then the tonnage should be actually made on the top end. So then imagine that those boys, they go, or you go, let's look at yours, 135, you take the 90-pound jump, that's 225. You take the 70-pound jump, that's 275. You take the 50-pound or
295.
So then you take this 50 from there, and that puts you at
345.
345. So you're now 10 pounds over one lift early. And then all of a sudden you're like, oh fuck, that was real heavy. And now you repeat that 1, 2, 3, 4 times. That's 4 lifts above 300 pounds, whereas this way, or above 340 pounds, whereas this way you only got 1 or 2 lifts above 340. So then it comes down to how many lifts above a certain number are you lifting. So how many lifts above 300? 1, 2, 3, 4 lifts above 300. Okay, sweet. How many lifts above 200? 1, 2, 3. And that's where you start looking at the actual other side of the tonnage, where that actually helps them out too, that they started at 225. So there's a bunch of stuff you can kind of start playing with to get stronger.
I see. Okay.
All right, Taylor, what did Taylor pull? Let's see the ladies.
On the ladies' side, Taylor pulled 245 for a triple on her max lift. Total tonnage is 4155. She leads the pack there. Christine Dickerson did 3765 here. Her max pull was 215, followed by Sarah Strader, 215. Lily pulled 225. Oh, Little West here, 175.
Yeah.
And then Savannah, 145 there.
Yeah. All those girls pulling so much.
So those were the deadlifts. I thought you had like a little voice thing on your speaker there.
3, 2, 1 fight. I mean, I like that one.
And then on the bar muscle up side here, I'm not sure why Max is here. He did tear his hand around round 5, so he did strict pull-ups to round 7. Mike Algren, bar muscle ups 5. Dave Ramirez, bar muscle ups 5 there. Dean, 7, 6, 6, 5, 3, 3, and 3. A little bit of a drop off. Oop, that was not supposed to be there. I was actually doing muscle ups there. So I did muscle ups 3 all the way through. Purcern with bar muscle ups 4, 3 all the way, and then 4 on the last rep. Ladies, don't have anything for ladies there. That's kind of strange.
The bar muscle up one. Okay, I like that.
And then on the chest to bar side, Brian with 3 all the way through. Chandler with 5s all the way through.
All right.
Lily did 5s all the way through. Sarah with 3. First 2 of every set were chest to bar, remaining were pull-ups. So she did 2 chest to bar and then 3 pull-ups.
All right.
Savannah with chest to bar pull-ups there. Wesley with chest to bar pull-ups.
Okay.
And Christine with chest to bar pull-ups as well. So usually the minimum on the Saturday, 3 all the way across, looks like.
It worked out pretty well. Was there a ring one?
No, there was no ring muscle up for some reason. I just switched my bar muscle, the bar muscle up one to a ring one. But I held 3s all the way through. I felt like I could pull 5s, but I just wanted to make sure I didn't miss.
I saw some kids get like I think my friend got 10s all the way through, and then
Christian got 10s. Maxie had 8s.
Poor little Nathan missed 50 by 1. 49, and then on the 50th one he missed it. Poor little guy. So he had to score 49. So he was probably happy. He was probably happy that there was no ring muscle ups and be on the whiteboard. He's like, oh, can't score it. It's not in there. Okay. So my rant tonight. So rolling out on a lacrosse ball. So I was putting some stuff away today in the garage, and I found a bocce ball, or a bocha, if you will. And I should have had it in my hand and showed you guys. Like, it's a big, round, hard ball if you've never seen like a bocce ball, or if you call it a bocha. And a lacrosse ball is like sweet compared to it. And I realized that I hadn't been using it in a long time. And I realized that I have a lot of good like recovery tools around from the years of just being injured, and then also too with training. And I like trying to recover. And I've always noticed that the more work that I put into my recovery, the better I feel and the less likely I get injured. So I looked at that bocce ball, or the bocha, and I was like, okay, I'll roll out before I do my demo stuff today. And I threw it off to the side, and then I started getting ready to warm up, and I looked at that thing and I was like, man, I really don't want to sit on this thing. And I could tell that I hadn't been using it in that long, to where I was intimidated of the bocce ball. And let me tell you, it was rough. I sat in it. It didn't really like my piriformis. My piriformis and my glute really fought back. So all that shenanigans. But again, if you don't put in at least 10 to 20 minutes every other day of some form of self-fascia release, you're doing yourself a disfavor or a disjustice with training intensely, or trying to lose weight, or training an hour a day and trying to build lean body mass without doing some type of tissue work. And I would tell you to buy a foam roller and then increase the foam roller to something a little bit more intensive. Don't just stay at a soft, foamy white foam roller. Go from a white to a blue to the black, and then progress it to maybe some nubblies or a tumbler, and then moving to a ball with a peanut and all those type of things, and then starting to use a little bit harder apparatuses. I know some people really don't like it, but I really kind of look at it as my tissue gets better as I'm able to handle different things to roll out on. So stay consistent, and you're gonna definitely feel better if you're doing it, and doing it right is really, really hard. So staying consistent while you're doing it, and then really working through the body, is very, very difficult. So don't give up. Stay on it. Maybe watch something, or set an alarm, set a clock, and let it beep. So then it's like 30 seconds, 1 minute on one side, 1 minute on the other. And then just make that happen Monday, Wednesday, Friday, and Sunday, or something like that. And you're going to see tremendous gains and range of motion within 15 days. Let me tell you that. All right. Tomorrow's workout. FU Monday.
Sometimes I wonder if people like randomly come into that and they're like, "What do you mean F you Monday?"
Focus up Monday.
Focus up Monday,
It
guys.
is
Focus up
real.
Monday. All right, guys. So getting ready for the workout. You guys will probably see this, or if you're not watching the Munchies right now, you'll probably see this on the post. But tomorrow is another Monster Mash Monday. If you guys look at it, we have essentially one round of different types of named workouts. So the first one's going to be a 1 round of Mary. We're going to do 5 handstand push-ups, 10 alternating single leg squats, so pistols, and then 15 pull-ups. And we'll do an AMRAP of that for 10 minutes. And then after that, we're going to have 1 round of DT. Now, if you guys don't know what DT is, that is a barbell loaded with 135 at 12 deadlifts, 9 hang power cleans, and 6 push jerks. Now, normally DT is going to be done at 155 SRX, but coach has 135 prescribed here. After DT, after 1 round of doing that, we're going to do 5 minutes of rest. You got to change out your 45 from your bar. We're going to work on that tomorrow. And we're going to switch on to a 35 pound on each side for the bear complex, which will come at the end of the workout. So once you have that switched out during that 5-minute rest, you're going to do an AMRAP in 10 minutes of Cindy. Now, Cindy is a great one. It's a full body weight workout. You're going to do 5 pull-ups, 10 push-ups, and then 15 air squats. Now, this is going to be a little bit tricky. If we're going to be doing this inside the gym, we're going to be doing that little short loop to run to the bars, do the pull-ups, run out, do push-ups, and do the air squats as well. After we get that 10 minutes in of the AMRAP of Cindy, we're going to do 1 round of the bear of 7 unbroken sets of 1 power clean, 1 front squat, 1 push press, 1 back squat, and then 1 push press off the rack. So that second push press will be off the rack. So a dip and a drive from the rack position at 95 or 115, depending on what you're going to use for your prescribed weight.
You think you get 5 rounds on both?
No.
That's 2 minutes.
Are we doing now? So for the AMRAP in 10 minutes, we're doing AMRAP in 10 minutes of Mary, and then AMRAP of 10 minutes in DT. Rest 5 minutes, AMRAPs of Cindy in 10 minutes, and then AMRAP of Bear in 10 minutes.
No, Cindy, Mary, and DT, both of them. So Mary, so we'll do run in, handstand push-ups, alternating pistols outside, run back in, do pull-ups, run back out, and do DT, and then that's going to be our loop. But
okay.
I should
do as many rounds of that in 10 minutes.
Yeah, I guess that way is going to be closer to probably only three rounds.
Yeah. And then the same thing for Cindy and Bear?
Yep.
Okay.
That's going to be closer to 3 rounds too.
Yeah, you'd be lucky to get 3 out of me, coach.
For sure. It should have been 5 pull-ups, 50-meter run, and then push-ups, air squats, 50-meter run, and then, or like we should start writing in the 50-meter run for the people online.
So, what do you mean you got to run inside of the rig? No, well, we got to do a 25 to 50 meter loop every time.
Because we're not going to do our pistols in there, so we're going to run.
No, not at all. You're going to have to go outside and then come back in to do the pull-ups.
Yeah, so good. Oh man, all the staging. So the goal is somewhere around
3 to 5.
2.5 rounds, Mikey. 2.5 rounds, apparently.
You'll get 5 with a combination of the 2 for sure.
Okay. I'm into that.
Okay. Little Mario sounds. I like it.
Little death to Pac-Man. Okay. So now that we know tomorrow's workout, let's talk about Monday's agenda. And so Monday's agenda, tomorrow, Monday, I want you to take part in 5 actions. Your first action tomorrow will be to review your goals and your progress in your fitness. So look at what your last 30, 60, 90-day goal was, what you were supposed to be at August, what was your goal body weight. If you don't have a goal body weight for August, you should from here on in, because it is summer. So this is kind of when you should be at your leanest, or understanding why you weren't at your leanest. Maybe you hosted a snack show. Maybe you got kids and you like their snacks. So those type of things. And then to look at your progress and, think about, okay, hey, the wins that you had in that. So you did a lot. You didn't really gain any weight, but you didn't really lose the weight that you wanted to be at. And then reset your goals. So adjust and set new goals in accordance, or even if you've achieved your goals, reset your goals too. So again, number one, review your goals and your progress. Number two, adjust or set your new goals based off of what you've achieved and what you haven't achieved. Find positive people. So one thing that I really liked about last week, we worked on not being negative and not having negative thoughts. And I really, really enjoyed that. Not that I poo-poo people, but apparently going through the process of making sure that I'm not going to poo-poo people, I was very, very almost enlightened. Even when somebody would say something that I would want to be like, I would immediately just chuckle and be like, okay. And I really, really enjoyed that. So it taught me a lot, just like in 7 days, to have a better mindset in how I'm approaching certain things. And I'm not one that judges, surprise, 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 outside of fitness. I'm not one that judges. And on the contrary, I try to avoid all that type of stuff. And I really believe in Eastern philosophical things because of it, or Eastern philosophical spirituality because of it. And I really, really enjoy that process of finding positive people and not being negative. And then relish the process. I think a lot of us do not realize that the journey is the process, and the process is the journey. But no, the process is really where we get to all the memories, right? The results is kind of the gains or the benefits of the process, but the process is the memories. And if you really relish in the process and you're like, oh man, I'm doing this, and I'm going to make sure I do it. And man, I can't believe I'm doing this, and I'm doing it. And then all of a sudden you get there and you're like, oh man, I did it. And then you'll remember all the things along the way, like, oh, hey, I remember the time I slipped up and I gained a couple pounds, or hey, I remember the time where it was real hard for me to hook up to lose weight, and then suddenly I lost 40 pounds. You'll remember that. And it really comes through the relishing the process. And then the last, fifth and final thing is stay hungry, stay motivated. Stay hungry, stay motivated. And don't stay like physically hungry. Stay hungry for results. And that's our Monday focus. Whew. Thank you, Mikey. We're going to try to kick these off a little earlier if I can get my ass in gear. Thanks, buddy.
We're all good.
Yeah, man.
Midnight Munchies.
All right. So tomorrow, bring your sunblock to the gym, be prepared, and have a good night rest.
We'll see you guys tomorrow.
Thank you, Mikey.